Block 4. Life does not come with an instruction manual. In the previous part, I spoke about moments when life came very close, on a motorcycle, in the forest, and on a road where the wheel of a lorry could have come through the door and landed in my lap with all its weight. Those were moments when a person suddenly understands that his life is not really in his own hands. Now I move on, but not yet to the white Toyota. Before that, I need to talk about learning, not only learning at school, but about how life itself teaches a person. Because life does not hand you an instruction manual, a warranty card, and a service book every morning, saying, if an emotional fault appears at kilometer 37, tighten nut number 8 and everything will be fine. That would, of course, be convenient, but in real life, you often have to work out along the road what is rattling, what is leaking, what has gone silent, and what no longer works at all. That is why this story also moves the way life moves, step by step, sometimes with a clearer plan, sometimes searching, sometimes repairing. I do not have an instruction manual for making this story either. I am learning as I go. I'm looking for the voice, the rhythm, the images, the tools, and the way to tell all of this so that it does not become a dry document, but not simply a long, rambling story either. The first parts may sound a little different from one another, and that is honest. I am not a professional studio man, director, or voice actor. I am a person learning to use new tools along the way, just like in life. The first solution is not always the final solution. Sometimes you try one tool, then another, then you realize that the third gives a better result. And sometimes you only understand after you have hit your finger. The hammer is not always at fault. Sometimes the finger is in the wrong place. Today, there's a nice phrase for this: lifelong learning. People also say a person learns all his life and still dies a fool. I would not take that to mean that learning is pointless. There is another truth in it. The more a person genuinely sees, the more he begins to understand how little he actually knew. The most painful moment of truth may come only when a person sits his final examination. Then it may turn out that he thought he knew a great deal, but failed to understand in time the very thing he should have noticed. Perhaps the signs had already been standing beside the road, on the motorcycle, in the forest, at that branch which looked like an obstacle but may have saved a life, and on that road where a lorry wheel could have come through the door and into my lap. If those moments had gone differently, this same DNA would not be sitting here now, looking for words to tell its story. Then all the conclusions might have been nothing more than belated nagging. Wise words spoken after the person himself can no longer answer. A human being is a strange creature. On one hand, we are powerful shapers of the world. We have been given reason, hands, language, memory, tools, and the ability to create. We build houses, we make machines, we write books, we make wood, iron, glass, and electricity serve us. But at the same time, a human being is very fragile. If a person's mind is damaged, if the brain is injured, or if the body is broken so badly that he can no longer manage on his own, then it matters far less how capable he was before. It no longer matters how much he achieved. It no longer matters how strong he believed himself to be. Then, his path depends very much on the people around him, whether someone stops, whether someone sees, whether someone helps. In the Bible, there is the story of the Good Samaritan. A man was left helpless by the roadside. The question was no longer how strong he himself was. The question was whether someone would walk past or stop. That is one of the great questions of life. We may be powerful shapers, but we are not the owners of life. Those signs are not the same for everyone. Every person has his own road, his own warnings, his own moments when he is stopped, his own narrow escapes, his own quiet moments that he does not tell everyone about. I cannot speak for the whole world, but in my own life, among the people with whom I have genuinely spoken about deep things, I do not know a single person who has not had signs like these. I am not talking about superficial conversation, not when one person asks, "Hello, how are you?" and the other answers, "Fine." In that kind of conversation, a person does not usually open up about the time he blacked out, or stood on the line between life and death, or saw something he could not explain, or suddenly realized one more step and everything could have been different. You do not tell such things to every passerby. They are often kept inside, sometimes for years, sometimes for a lifetime. But when the road goes deeper, when a person begins to speak for real, those stories come out. With Christians, with relatives, with loved ones, with old working men, with old sailors, with people who, by now, have already sat their final examination. And then you hear that everyone has had some kind of sign, some one, some two, some more. A moment when life seemed to knock and say, look now, think now, do not keep walking blindly. There is a thought in the book of Job that God does this to a person 2 or 3 times to bring his soul back from the edge of the grave and to enlighten him with the light of life. To me, that is not a dry Bible verse. It is a description of life. The question is whether a person notices which signs he follows and where he is ultimately heading. This block was not yet about school or work. It was about the fact that life does not come with an instruction manual. Life gives you a road. It gives you signs. It gives you moments when a person has to stop and ask, what was I supposed to learn from this? In the next part, I will talk about school. Not only the classroom, but what school taught me and what life later had to teach me itself. Because some examinations do not come on paper. Some examinations come through work, mistakes, pain, and responsibility.